The first 5 races of the 2025 One-Up Superstar Series season have come and gone, and we've already got plenty of incredible storylines that have built themselves up over those first 5 races. But here, I'm sure the next 25 are going to give us a whole lot more, and it all starts here at Hanford, California for race number 6 of the 2025 season at Hanford Motor Speedway. This very unique racetrack with a lot of history behind it. One-Up first raced here last year. Zayden Davidson was the winner on that occasion, and I'm very excited to see if anyone else can join him in victory lane over the course of the next 54 laps, which can be brought to you now. And alongside me to bring you all the action, as has been the case for the entire season so far, Jacob Craig are back with us once again. But as much as I want to talk about the previous few races and how exciting they've been, certain events have occurred to blow all that out of the water. I'm sure everyone's heard the massive news taking place yesterday from our current points leader and 2023 champion Devin Fair, who after 108 races at Revolution Racing will say goodbye to the team at the end of 2025, move on to bigger and possibly better things. He's moving Fair & Co Racing to Honda Power from Toyota for 2026. All of this is unprecedented. This is probably the biggest news we've had since Dylan Young announced his retirement at the end of last year. But with all that being said, it seems at first glance to be quite bizarre. Devin Fair with top 10s in every race so far this season. He's leading the points. It doesn't seem like there's a reason to leave, but I think after so long with the same group of people, change may be afoot, and who knows how that's going to play out when 2026 gets underway.
Certainly, and I have a couple theories as to what's going on. First is money talks. You throw enough cash someone's way, they'll be willing to not necessarily change allegiances, but will be willing to come over to your side. The other is there could be stuff we're not seeing behind the scenes at Revolution Racing. As great as that team has been running all season long, you got Fair leading the points. Obviously, Christian Vargas is 4th in points heading into this race. Tescar Jr. just won the pole this past time out at Hillside and is currently 17th in points. And you got Zayden Davidson, who, as you said, defending race winner and 19th in points. They're all in the top 20 in points. But we don't know. There's something happening behind the scenes that maybe Devin Fair doesn't necessarily want to continue being part of. Or maybe everything is, happy-go-lucky. He's just looking to find some sort of change for his career. Who knows? We certainly don't. And, I did put out a couple theories. Probably not best to fully speculate and whatnot. But yeah, very big news, very exciting news. I'm very interested to see how that works out for Devin. All the best to him once the season is ended. And who knows? Maybe he'll be in the same place next year. Maybe he'll be mid-pack. It'll be interesting to see.
And keep in mind as well, with the downsizing imminent for Revolution Racing, someone was going to have to go regardless. And Devin's decided on his own terms that he's going to be the one to step aside, give Zayden Davidson and Cale Tescar Jr. an opportunity to stay there, as well as Christian Vargas, the team owner, obviously. The rumor mill speculates that JHM Racing is the place he's going to land. We'll see. That's the only Honda team currently in One-Up, aside from Fair & Co moving there next year. But people are talking. The whole garage is talking. Curious to see what plays out. But enough talking about what's in the future. Let's talk about this weekend. Hanford Motor Speedway, a very unique racetrack, like I said at the top of the show. Three corners of various radiuses. There's a lot to unpack here with this track. And a quick look at the top 20 in points after we left Hillside. You said it, Devin Fair is still the points leader over Miles Mashburn, but I would not be surprised if this shakes up yet again after this race, because there's a lot of unique features of Hanford that you don't see in very many other places, namely the fact that the start-finish line here is so close to turn 1, you're actually on the brakes as you cross the line here.
Yeah, and actually, I was mistaken. I was looking at last week's points for where everybody is, but yeah, yeah, the track certainly is unique. Um, so it'll be interesting to see how it races compared to how they raced last year. I mean, they unlike last year, crew chiefs now have a notebook of various different setup notes to build off of compared to last year where they didn't have any. So we'll have to see, who struggles, who doesn't. I'm excited to see this race get underway.
Which we can bring to you once we take care of the starting lineup, which we can now bring to you. And Ben McDonald has been looking for a big turnaround for his season. He is doing quite well in the points, P9 overall, but he has yet to score a top 10 in the first 5 races of this season. Not where we expected this 12 car to be, but he's trying to rectify that situation. He has put himself on pole position by a decent margin over Mark Davey alongside him. Davey has had a pretty rough start to the season. He's been relegated to go home territory for this weekend. He made the show on his time, and sure enough, he's qualified on the outside of the front row. Dylan Young trying to get his first top 10 of the season as well, starting third alongside Eric Monaco, who also had to qualify on his time to get into this race. And Miles Mashburn, after the heartbreak at Hillside, rounds out the top 5. There's a lot of other names to keep our eye on. Zayden Davidson, last year's winner here, starts 6th. Devin Fair, we've talked mountains about him already. He starts 9th alongside his teammate for the rest of this season, Cale Tescar Jr. And at this point, I'm just wondering, is this order going to be pretty similar to what we see at the end of 54 laps, or do you expect a big shakeup? Because keep in mind, we've brought a softer tire here compared to a year ago, and I think we're going to expect a 2-stopper today.
If there is a shakeup, I'm not expecting a huge one, to be entirely honest. I mean, yeah, Ben McDonald, no top 10s, as you mentioned, so far this season. Not from a lack of trying. He's run in the top 10 in several races, just has not had the ability to keep within that top 10. Mark Davey, Eric Monaco, as you mentioned, relegated to the pre-qualifying sessions that we have here. Again, Mark, just no luck at all for them this season. Hopefully they can turn around here with their top 5 starts here today. Miles Mashburn, heartbreak last year, led most of the race and just last turn pass by our points leader, Devin Fair. Just couldn't quite close out that win. Maybe he can do it today. Who knows?
Well, I think it's about time we get this race started here at Hanford. So with that being said, we've got 42 cars lined up on the grid. With enough talking about the 2026, enough talking about the hypotheticals. We want to see cars on track, and we're ready to bring that to you now. It's the 1UP Superstar Series from Hanford Motor Speedway, and the green flag is next. Big day here at Hanford. McDonald and Davey on the front row, getting ready for 54 laps. They make their way slowly towards the starting line, and they head into the restart zone. The green flag is finally out in the air, and the field of 42 accelerates just for a moment for braking hard for the sharp corner that is turn 1.
Yeah, and see the 12 get a good jump on the start here. Mark Davies still trying to hang with him on the outside, though, as they head down towards turn 2. Heavy braking as they run through the corner. Everyone keeping it clean so far. It looks like Dylan Young cleared Eric Monaco for 3rd, and now Mark Davey gets a push out to the lead ever so briefly as they head into turn 3.
Yeah, one other thing notable about this track, the preferred line for each corner changes from 1 to 2 to 3. In 1 and 3, you want to be on that bottom of the racetrack to get the shortest way around, as McDonald just barely leads lap 1. But coming through turn 2, you are going to want that wider line to carry as much momentum as possible, and I think Mark Davey is lining up a potential move through turn 2 to almost make contact in doing so.
Yeah, and Mark Davey is going to lead coming off the corner. I don't know if he clears McDonald, though. He does. Yeah. And now he's going to be able to get in front of the 12 here and retain the lead here. He definitely needs that, although he gets a bit of a tight condition coming off the corner. That's going to allow McDonald to look. But here comes Dylan Young now. Are they going to go 3 wide? Not quite.
Yeah, Dylan Young is someone who I was expecting a lot better start from, considering this is his final season in one-up competition. He entered this race with no top tens on the season. I'm sure he would love to rectify that here today, as he now makes a move to the outside of McDonald for second. That might open the door, though, for the 12 to try and stick his nose underneath Davey. No, nothing doing there. But now Dylan Young fights his way alongside McDonald for the long drag race down to the first turn.
Yeah, and he made that move on the outside in turn 3. So you know Dylan Young is hungry here for a good finish. So we're slow start to the season as you mentioned, but now he's to the outside of Mark Davey. Very strong run by that 29 car. Although don't look too far back because Finn Guy started in 8th and he's already up to 4th.
I mean, yeah. Do you expect anything else from the series' all-time wins leader at this point in his career? But Jeffrey Finguy, you're right. He is on a charge because his only top, like Dylan Young, he's had a bit of an up and down start. His only top 10 this season was his win back in Atlanta. So he really wants to get a more consistent footing on this season. He's trying to make his way around Ben McDonald for what will be third position, as Dylan Young is taken off like a rocket past Mark Davey and is starting to pull away as Finguy now tries to send it off into turn 2 and stay ahead of Ben McDonald.
Not quite able to do it just there, but he's got that horsepower under the hood to be able to just drive down in turn 3 and ensure McDonald can't stick with him. Now here comes Eric Monaco and Nick Ortiz. They're going to try to find a way around the number 12 Dr. Pepper Chevrolet themselves.
Yeah, this is a much better run out of New England Cruisers Racing than we saw last time out at Hillside. They were about to go lap down at the end of that race, but here they're putting on a strong showing. They're battling it together for 5th position at the moment, and meanwhile, speaking of teammates, we got all 3 Robbers Racing cars in a 3-wide battle for 9th place. Miles Mashburn in the middle, J.D. Martin down low, and Joshua Michaels hooking it out around the outside.
Yeah, and Michaels is going to be the big loser there because now he's going to be side by side with Devin Fair and DeLello there by the looks of things in the middle there. We take a look back up front. Jeffrey Finguy now kind of has McDonald on his back bumper. As we take a look back at this battle here just outside the top 10, looks like Michael still couldn't quite get to the inside lane.
He almost rubbed doors with
DeLello. Contact.
Yeah,
I think he did make contact.
If there wasn't, it was very close. As look at Cale Tescar Jr. go. He's found some horsepower in that 18 car. We know now with all the news yesterday, we know that both he and Zayden Davidson should be pretty safe at Revolution Racing for 2026. And here they are, side by side, along with Eric Monaco, in a battle for what will be 6th place.
Yeah, and Davidson, the big winner there, he just made up 2 spots and effectively 1 corner and 1 straightaway. So, and looks like Tescar Jr. now under fire from Miles Mashburn, who's going to try and go around the outside of the 18 for the 9th spot, I believe that will be.
But really, we shouldn't be this surprised to see Zayden Davidson making these incredible moves here, considering he won this race 1 year ago, and it was his first win in Superstar competition, and it's the last time he's been to victory lane. Wouldn't he love to double up at Hanford? As we see Finguy and McDonald trying to find a way around Mark Davey as the Finguy Saitomi cars now run 1-2.
Yeah, speaking of doubling up, you got Mark Davey potentially losing 2 spots here in this lap, and then you got both Finguy Satori cars now in a 1-2 right now as they run here, as they run the complete lap number 9. Here comes Mark Davies, though, trying to get a run to the inside of Finguy, try to retake that 2nd spot.
And remember, Finguy Saitomi Motorsports has finished 1-2 before in a Superstar race. It was the opposite order they're in right now, as Mark Davey does try and make a pass on Finguy. I think he'll probably make it stick, although Finguy is going to give it his best shot to hold that position. But going back to what I was saying, yes, they have finished 1-2 before in the opposite order, Finguy leading Young home at Iowa last year, but I'm sure they'd love to do it again, and for Dylan Young, I'm sure he'd love to be the one leading the charge this time, considering he only has a couple more opportunities to get a win.
Well, he's certainly taking the opportunity he can right now. He's pulled out to a 1.5-second lead over his team owner and teammate here, as we see Mark Davey and McDonald still continue to run side by side.
Although you say he had a 1.5-second lead, it's gone down. Finguy chopped off a half-second out of that lead on the previous lap. As we look at Zayton Davidson trying to move one up the inside on Nick Ortiz for a spot in the top 5, and that his tight exit out of that corner will allow Miles Mashburn to get alongside him in their battle for 6. This is what we love about Hanford. The changing of the line you want to take opens the door for a lot of back-and-forth battles.
Yeah, and you mentioned that softer tire back in the pre-race. That's probably allowing some of these drivers to make moves they probably maybe couldn't have a year ago, at least with more confidence. So, as Mashburn and Davidson still they were side by side. Mashburn able to drive off the corner there and clear the 4. As we see Ortiz now clear Davey for going through turn 2.
Yeah. Ortiz and Davey, they're former teammates. They know how to race each other cleanly and effectively. And I think Ortiz is going to make this move stick out of turn 3. And yeah, he's going to, I think, be mostly clear of the 11 in their drag race to this finish line. Ortiz, yeah, he's pretty much clear to complete lap number 12. And he has moved himself up into 4th place as Mark Davey, who started 2nd, starting to fall back a little now.
Yeah, and that allowed Miles Mashburn to take a look to the inside as Ortiz wasn't fully clear of Davey heading into the first turn there. But Davey able to drive off that corner using the outside to his advantage, able to hold off the 72 for now. So I believe that lead is coming down up towards the front little by little as McDonald and Finguy both closing in on the 29 Dylan Young. And yeah, you can see it 7/10 last time by. And it's going to be...
Well...
No.
I mean, they're kind of holding station for now. They know it's early in this race. Well, these guys might not know it's early in the race. They were 3 wide between Tescar, Monaco, and Martin in their fight for what is 9th position. So it is still early, and these guys have plenty of time to make something happen. Although, as I say that, I see the caution lights are on. We've got a yellow flag, and we got a few cars smoking on the bottom. Keon Daly being one of them. He entered this race 7th in the points, and Henry Thomas, who entered today 14th. Emma Kruger, who was 8th. We've got 3 cars who are in the top 15 in points who look to be out of the race already.
Yeah, and that's back-to-back weeks with issues for Emma Kruger. As you remember last time out, she had an engine failure at Hillside. So not what Emma Kruger wanted to see or wants to have happen. Thankfully, she was able to win the Daytona 500, so she still has some of that early season momentum, but she is losing that quickly here with continued issues. And tough break for Keon Daly and Henry Thomas as well. Yeah,
you got to feel, especially for Keon Daly, he's been the quiet model of consistency this season that I personally was very pleasantly surprised to see. He entered this race, like I said, 7th in points, only 1 top 10, but he's been consistently in the top 15, but this will be his first DNF of the season as the rest of the field makes their way down pit road to get their first of what should be 2 stops underway.
Yeah, in fact, all 3 drivers in top 20 in points, as you had Henry Thomas in 14th as well. So tough break for all these guys. That's certainly going to drop them down the order here. But we'll have to see how the pit stops will shake up. You see, I believe that was Finguy already entering his pit stall. Now Dylan Young enters his.
And yeah, we get a great angle of the Ben McDonald pit stop here. He's in pit stall number 1. We've got a camera right above that, and it's a great shot to see how these cars are serviced. He's getting the service completed on his machine. When the jack drops, he's ready to go, but he's not going to be beaten by Dylan Young. He's going to be beaten by Jeffrey Finguy, who's first out of the pit lane.
Very fast stop for that 92 crew. So. And by a wide margin, too. But McDonald comes out second. Dylan Young loses 2 spots on pit road. Tough break for him. Not what he needed early on, as we see Cody Goforth. Looks like the crew just ripped off the rear bumper of his car.
I think he was in that accident as well. We'll get you a replay here. Upon further review, I think it all started with Cody Goforth, who was running in what I believe to be 18th position when this all started. He's got Emma Kruger directly behind. gets help from the 70, sends him down into that inside wall, and everybody behind just starts piling in one after the other. Not what any of these guys were expecting going into the first turn.
Yeah, with as high speed as turn 1 is, just you come up on an incident and you're just running in there so quickly, it's hard to slow down on a dime, basically, for an incident like that. I don't know if Emma Kruger just slightly misjudged her braking point. I don't know if Cody just braked her a little earlier than Emma Kruger was anticipating.
Yeah, we're getting another look at it right here, and I don't know. I mean, Emma's car did not have any smoke coming out of it when exiting the accident scene, so I'm curious what caused her to retire from the race. Oh yeah, she shipped off the 64 into turn 1, and yeah, you can see, oh yeah, big impacts from, oh that explains why she retired from the race. The fuel filler's gone on that car. No wonder they retired it. They were never gonna be able to fuel that thing.
Yeah, plus a couple of additional impacts to that car. Maybe there was something aside from the fuel filler to maybe we can't exactly see because most of the other body panels are still on that car. And when she pulled into pit road, maybe there was something else that we couldn't quite see that they saw. Yeah, we're done for the day as well. In addition to that.
Yeah, so we have...
Yeah, tough break for all those guys that were involved in that.
Yeah, we have 3 cars out of the race we know of from that accident, in addition to, as well as Echo Evans-Ross in the 39. Not sure if the 39 team had a separate issue or she was caught up in that accident as well, but regardless, there are 4 cars out of the race as a result of this crash, and we're going to get a restart at what will be lap 19. Cody Goforth is back on the racetrack at the tail end of the field, still in the lead lap. But this is not going to help his efforts to crack the top 30 in owners' points. But pace car pulls off, and Jeffrey Finguy is going to lead us to the first restart of the day.
Yeah, Finguy, McDonald, Young, Ortiz, and Michaels, the top 5, as they head into the restart zone to catch the green flag here to complete lap 18 and start lap 19. They head off down in turn 1.
Yeah, and you notice now everybody's ripping that top lane, because once you get single file like this, you want to be up there. When you know no one's going to try and pass you, you want to be ripping that top on turn 1, because you just carry so much momentum through there. But field single file through the top half dozen as we make our way through the first lap after the restart. McDonald keeping Finguy within sight as Michael's already taken a peek underneath Ortiz. That's going to cost him a few tenths.
Yeah, you said first half dozen. You saw Davidson and Teskar Jr. side by side towards the just outside the top 5 there. Looks like McDonald able to hang with Finguy just ever so slightly. Michael's running a slightly lower line than everybody else ahead of him. Maybe he has a little bit of a line there that he wants to run. Well, maybe seeing something, maybe trying something. Now Ortiz running down low. Michael's looking to the outside.
Yeah, we'll see how this works as they come out of turn 3 to complete the lap. But yeah, so far so good after the restart. As Teskar once again takes a look under his teammate for what will be 7th place, as Mashburn looks under his teammate for 9th. So we've got a lot of inter-team battles here for position. Meanwhile, I'm sure Dylan Young would love to get up there and challenge his teammate Finguy once again, but he's got to deal with Ben McDonald first. And as much flack as we give Ben McDonald for finishing 2nd more often than he wins, I'm sure he'd never want to finish 2nd, especially Ben McDonald, as Jeffrey Finguy just ripped a great lap out to post the fastest lap of the day. Everybody in the field, in fact, turned their personal best laps of the race after this restart.
Yeah, and of course, if you're Ben McDonald, who better to beat on pure pace alone than not only the defending series champion, but also the all-time wins leader in the series as well.
Absolutely.
So, but he's got a couple of strong cars that he's sandwiched in between to do it. Michael's also actually holding strong with these 3 as well. So you got 4 strong cars here in the early going.
Yeah, and Joshua Michaels, he wants to get to career win number 2. Dylan Young, of course, looking for what would be his 4th career win. Ben McDonald looking for number 7. And Jeffrey Finguy, of course, looking for what would be his 18th career win. which would be the most of all time. He already has that record in his pocket. But as we look down to the back half of the top 10, we see Davidson once again holding off Cale Teskar Jr., his teammate, in their fight for 7th.
Yeah, but Mark Davey actually holding strong here, just within the top 5. As we see 3 wide ever so briefly, Michael's trying to shove it in between Young and McDonald, not quite able to do so. Dylan Young now able to rip the top side, make it a Finguy Satori 1-2 once again. So as in the reverse order it was earlier in the race.
Yeah, FPM back to running 1-2. And I think Dylan Young's going to try and get up to his teammate and reestablish the order they had at the beginning. I don't know if Finguy is going to want to comply with that necessarily. I mean, it is Dylan Young. He's retiring at the end of the season. You might want to give him a win on his way out, but I don't think that's who Jeffrey Finguy is. He wants to build his record book in a big hurry, as we see the 2 Chevrolets of McDonald and Michaels fighting for 3rd.
It'll certainly be interesting if he team orders himself here to allow Dylan Young an opportunity to get a win here and lock himself into the playoffs. Because Finguy already has a win, one at Atlanta, but at the same time, you do want to win every opportunity you can get, and Finguy has the opportunity to do so, to get a 2nd win so far this season. As looks like McDonald has pulled away from Michaels a little bit. Ortiz now in the draft with that 6 car, trying to catch him as they head down in turn 1. 3 cars battling almost 3 wide going in turn 1 here, as Martin has gotten into this inter-team battle between Teskar and Davidson.
And keep in mind, going back to what we were saying about Dylan Young before, he entered this race, I believe, 21st in points. You need to be within that top 15 to make the postseason, regardless. So he's got a little work to do, but I would expect with a great run like this, finishing 2nd, that would be able to get him at least pretty close to being in that top 15 position needed to make the playoffs. As we complete lap 26, Finguy out front. We're coming to the halfway lap next time they cross the line.
Well, looking at the top 20 in points as well, you have Michaels running in 4th, but you have Henry Thomas, who was caught up in that wreck earlier. He's probably going to fall out of the top 20 here, possibly. I've not seen Griffin or Kev Shear at all in this race so far, so they're probably running further in the back. So yeah, Dylan Young has definitely a great opportunity to crack the top 20, maybe even the top 15 with where he's running right now, but he's right on the back bumper of Finguy. He really wants to be able to get the win here today, but I think Finguy's going to have to, or is in a position where he's going to force Dylan Young to earn it today. Yeah,
Finguy's putting his car in all the right places, which is what he should be doing. He shouldn't be giving out freebies to anybody, even his teammate. So if Dylan Young wants to win this race, get that 4th career win, he's going to have to do it the hard way. And the hard way, absolutely, is passing a 17 race winner and the defending series champion. But look at this, he's right on the back bumper. As he pulls low, going to try and make the move into turn 1.
Finguy maybe outbreak Dylan Young, but maybe outbroke himself as well. But he gets to drive off the corner there. Dylan Young will have to wait at least one more lap, possibly, to set up another move here, as Finguy actually pulls away from the 29. So maybe a couple of laps before Dylan Young can get back to the 92 and set up another move.
Yeah, it's all about momentum, and Dylan Young just lost all his with that move in the turn 1 that did not quite work out to plan. But now, yeah, especially not considering Ben McDonald is to his outside and trying to make the pass himself for the 2nd position. They were only 12 1/1000ths of a second apart at the line. Now McDonald does make the pass around Dylan Young. So that move that did not work is really going to cost Dylan Young. It cost him a chance at his teammate, and it also cost him 2nd.
Yeah, at this point, I think if you're going to have to make a move, you're going to have to make it on the outside, regardless of which corner you're in, as we just saw Ben McDonald just drive around Dylan Young on the outside in turn 1. So Finguy really positioning his car in a way that forced Dylan Young to possibly make a mistake there, as we see Dylan Young now try to get back to the inside of Ben McDonald here going into turn 1.
He's going to try it. they're still going to be side by side out of turn 2. And I think out of turn 1, Ben McDonald going to have the advantage on the outside through turn 2. I think Dylan Young, he's doing whatever he can. They may have adjusted this car, and it might not have worked because they were expecting him to come out with the lead again, and that they might not have set it up to handle dirty air well. I don't know what the case is, but hopefully Dylan Young's able to get back out front and give people what they want to see.
Yeah, just not able to make that inside lane stick. Maybe he can find an opportunity to get to the outside of Ben McDonald here, as we see Finn Guy pulling away 1.1 second lead as they crossed the line the previous time. Although Dylan Young now under fire from Joshua Michaels. We take a look further back. Here comes Julio Caesar with a charge up to the front. We haven't talked about him all day.
He started back in 20th, and he's cracked the top 10, and has passed Nick Ortiz, in fact, for 8th place. He's the highest placed of the 3 Sanders Performance Autosport cars today, and after that big crash at Hillside last week, this 00 team, they need this.
Yeah, 19th in points heading into this weekend, so it's going to be a very strong showing, opportunity to pick up a couple of spots in points. As you mentioned, top 15 make the playoffs as we see a car on pit road.
Yeah, Stephen Gale, it looks like in the 52, he has had, he was also, he had an engine problem at Hillside, and he is not, it looks like he's been there actually for quite a while. I don't know how we missed that, but yeah, he's 8 laps down as well. So something must have happened to this 52 that we did not catch.
Yeah, not sure what the issue is. The crew all surrounding the car taking a look at it.
Oh boy, and I hate to be the bearer of more bad news. I just looked at the car right behind Stephen Gale in the running order. Could this season get any worse for Bobo Jones? He got his best result of the season last week at Hillside, which was 31st, and he's got another DNF now to add to his total. We must have missed something while we were covering that battle for the lead, because now Stephen Gale is falling multiple laps down, and Bobo Jones once again out of the race altogether.
I wonder if those are related, and we somehow missed it, but the incident just did not bring out a caution. Because it says there, Bobo Jones out due to an accident.
Curious if someone
hit him.
Yeah, that's bizarre to me. If he got into a serious accident, they would have thrown the yellow flag for it. I wonder. We'll get you a replay of what happened there during our post race, but your heart has to go out to that 58 team. No luck whatsoever over the course of this entire season. 6 races now without a single finish in the top 30.
Yeah, just horrendous luck for Bobo Jones and that entire Bolton Racing team. I think they would just rather take just no luck whatsoever, good or bad at this point, over everything they've experienced in the opening 6 races so far. Finguy has opened it up to a 2-second lead over Ben McDonald now. The largest we've seen so far all race, as Martin's caught up to Davies as well, as we see a gaggle of cars here battling just at the outside edge of the top 10.
Yeah, we've had a couple cars fall in and out of the top 10 here. Namely, Zayton Davidson, who was as high as 6th earlier today, is now fallen down to 12th spot behind Tevin Fair. And Eric Monaco, who started this race up in 4th, he's now down to 13th place.
So yeah, I'm not sure if those were just poor adjustments, slow stops, what have you, but they've been falling back steadily, as we see Fair in 11th. You got, of course, as earlier mentioned, you got Julio Caesar in 8th. So, not sure what happened to those guys, but obviously falling back here.
Yeah, there's a lot of questions. There's a lot of questions. That basically is what we're trying to say. There's a lot of questions we don't have answers to. We're going to get you those answers as soon as possible. So it looks as though Joshua Michaels is going to get the green flag pit stop cycle started here, and he's going to bring J.D. Martin, his teammate, with him, and Ryan Griffin further behind. So these are the cars who are taking a gamble here, coming down pit road first to get the fresh tires earliest, see if they can climb up the field at all.
Yeah, there's something else that pulled off behind.
Nikki Martinez in the 43, making her first Superstar start in quite a long time for her own team. So kudos to that 43 for making the field in the first place. They've been having a quietly good race, all things considered. As Finguy now peels out the pit, he's bringing McDonald along. Dylan Young, though, he's going to stay on the racetrack.
Yeah, and that's going to bring Davey and Devin Fair and a whole heap of other guys as they all come down. However, late decision by Chase Chris. He just barely makes pit road.
Yeah, and Fitzwater as well. He made a late call, and he just barely makes it as well. So, close shave.
And you have to think back the hillside with
yeah, that didn't work. That didn't work.
Yeah.
But we're waiting on the last few cars to come to pit road here. Dylan Young, Cale Teskar Jr., Miles Mashburn. You can see the difference. Joshua Michaels is already out of the pits. He's passing everybody. Yeah, everybody else now coming down pit road here. And I don't expect anyone else to try and go another lap. No. Ooh, Crown's making a really late call. Is he going to make it? Oh, he just...
No!
He
that's going to collect... That's going to collect the 07.
Well, he did make it to pit road, but he caught that attenuator as well. It's probably not going to take him out of the race, but this is going to set the 71 back quite a ways as well.
Yeah, that's going to set back Aaron Hall as well, who was just an innocent bystander in all of that. Also taken out.
Well, they're not taken out. They're still in this race. They're going to get some fresh tires, assess their damage. They're probably going to get back out on the racetrack. But, yeah, they've got a lot of damage now. I'm curious to see where they're going to cycle out. But look at where Joshua Michaels, look where he's cycled out. He's now come out only about 0.6 of a second behind Jeffrey Finguy. And I don't see anyone else really in the same ballpark as those two.
Yeah, so at this point, I believe it is going to come down to those two as we are coming to 14 to go.
Yeah, we're already on 15 laps to go. Unless we get another yellow to bunch the field back up, I think Joshua Michaels is going to be the best hope we have to deny Jeffrey Finguy career win number 18 today.
Yeah, and, when you get your first win, that's always the hardest. The more wins will come easy, and I think Michaels might prove that. I mean, they both already won races so far. We have not had a repeat race winner, although Crown Jr. coming out in between these two is going to complicate things for Joshua Michaels.
Yeah, a little bit, but like we saw, Crown has damage now, and I wouldn't be surprised if Michaels was able to get past with an intact car. Sure enough, he does. So this is going to be interesting. Yeah, the gap's up to 0.75 of a second between Michaels and Finguy. I'm curious to see if that grows any more with the 6 having to pass Crown, who's now a lap down. Yeah, the gap looks to be a little bit bigger, but it's going to be interesting to see how this battle between these two plays out the rest of the day, because Crown is really the only one we have that's seriously a lap down. Hall now back onto the track with some significant damage, and look at Devin Fair must have had a really rough pit stop. He's now down in 29th position, passing Kev Shearer for 28th place, and with so few laps remaining, I fear that the top 10 streak Devin Fair's on may come to an end today.
Not only that, but I feel like he might lose the points lead here with the poor finish like that. Yeah, he had a 19-point gap entering here, but depending on where Miles Mashburn finishes, that might come down, if not be surpassed. So
he's clawing back as many positions as he can, but might be too little too late. I did see Nicky Martinez, though, up in the top 25, considering where that team had been in Superstar Performance, and this is their first race made. That's a very strong run for that 43 team to qualify for the race, keep out of trouble all day, probably end up with a top 25 finish.
Yeah, and they made a switch earlier this season, put Nicky in that car and try and get it at least into the races. Yeah. And as you mentioned, the first race made, so already starting to see the results from that. Didn't make the race last week at Hillside, unfortunately, but yeah. Hey, they're in a show this week, and Nicky's doing a great job in that car so far.
And they're making another change starting with the next set of races. It'll just be that 43 car as the Superstar program for that team. They're closing down their 47. They're moving Justin Henley to join Shantley Daniel in the Nitro National Series for their next race. So looking forward to seeing what Justin Henley can do in that 47 car next time out. But it will just be Nicky Martinez that will be the focus for the rest of the season. I commend their decision to do that. We'll see how it plays out. But while we were talking about that, this battle for the lead has heated up in quite a big way. Michaels is closed right up to the back of this 92.
Yeah, and with it now being 10 to go, coming to 9 to go here as I run through turn 3, Finguy is running that upper line basically every single turn except for turn 3. So he's really he's really forcing Michaels to work for this one. Michaels gonna have to find a way around either on the inside and hope that he can put the pedal down better than Finguy can, or he's gonna have to hope Finguy makes a mistake and he's able to take advantage of an outside line move here.
Well, we're going to find out, because like you said, we don't have a lot of laps left in this race. And, yeah, look at this. Michaels is right up to the back of Finguy here. If Michaels can just get that little bit of a run and jump to the outside, I think there's a chance. But he's got to get to the outside first, and Finguy is not about to let that happen.
Yeah, there's a reason why Finguy is the series all-time wins leader, and this is why right here, because he is one of the best in the field. He is the benchmark all drivers have to try and set themselves to if they want to win the series, and Michael's certainly sizing up that benchmark right now as we take a look through the rest of the field.
Yeah, you see Ryan Griffin jumped up into the top 10 on account of that early pit stop. Logan Williams likewise making a good move up. Eric Monaco, though, and Zayden Davidson, they have gone the opposite direction. They're now outside the top 15 as things run right now. Difficult, for sure, but maybe they just weren't set up for the way the race is played out. Especially, it's a shame for Zayden Davidson, because he, like we said, he won this race last year, and he was hoping for a good day here. It just didn't turn out that way.
Well, speaking of Zayden Davidson, I noticed James Ellison was right behind him. Ellison really needed a good run today, and just inside the top 20 is probably going to be satisfactory considering the bad luck that Crossroads has had all season long here in Superstar.
Well, Ellison did get that top 10 at Richmond, which has helped him out, but he is on the outside looking in as far as a locked-in position goes. I think with this finish here today, he's going to get real close. It might not quite get there, but he's going to be real close, and I think with another good run at Talladega, he might be able to jump back into the top 30. But back to the battle at hand, we're coming to 5 laps to go, and Joshua Michaels is not letting this go.
Yeah, and like Finguy pulls out just a little, or pulls ahead just a little bit further in turn 3, but Michaels is able to close back up in 1 and 2. So it's really an interesting ebb and flow here right now. It's going to be interesting to see if Michaels can really make a move here. You know, the old adage, catching is one thing, passing is another. Michaels has caught him. He's got to try and set up a move here. Close by 3/10 that time by, so he had a stronger exit off turn 3. But as Finguy able to pull away through turn 2 there.
Yeah, this is going to be nip and tuck for the rest of this race, because we're coming to 4 laps to go here. And oh, wow, actually, now that I'm looking at this, Joshua Michaels is quite a ways back now of Jeffrey Finguy. Michaels has had a really sluggish lap here. It's going to set him back quite a ways. You could barely even see him in the picture anymore. With 4 laps to go, that's a 9/10 pickup from Jeffrey Finguy. Michaels must have had an issue somewhere in that lap to set him back a second now.
Yeah, I think it was entering turn 2. Michaels just slowed up just a little bit, and that's allowed Finguy to pull away. But something else to mention, Finguy pitted a lap later than Michaels, so he has just 1 lap fresher tires, but that's still a big difference with the softer tire.
Yeah, it might be all the difference he needs at this point. We're coming out of turn 3. We're coming to 3 laps to go. Michaels is a lot closer again this time. So he whatever issue he had, it's no longer an issue now. And coming across the line to take 3 to go, he just took out half of the lead.
Probably backed off, cooled his tires just ever so slightly, and is now back on it trying to catch Finguy. So we have a lap or 2.5 laps to go. It's going to be interesting to see if he can catch Finguy again and maybe try and make a move here in the late going. We've seen the last turn pass last time out at Hillside. It'll be interesting to see if we see another one here today.
Well, he's going to have to step on it because we only have 2 laps to go, and he's taking a wider line everywhere to try and make Jeffrey Finguy a little bit more nervous. But we have 2 laps to go. We'll see what the gap is here. Oh, he lost a 10th there. That's not going to cut it.
Yeah, I think Finguy just drove down coming off turn 3. And that allowed him to take a slightly sharper exit, but also a line that allowed him to straighten up the exit of turn 3 there. That's how he was able to pull away. We see Finguy actually running a lower line on corner exit here everywhere.
Yeah,
a
but
little
and
bit.
look, Michaels is taking advantage. He's closed the gap. At least he's trying to. As we come down this long front straightaway to take the white flag this time.
Yeah, Finn Guy. I don't know if it's Finn Guy running defensive or if it's just Finn Guy found something. But you see, Michaels closed only a tenth there. That time by, it's not going to be enough. He's going to have to send it here in the last couple of corners. He wants any shot at Finn Guy.
I don't think he's going to be able to make it, though, even that way, because Jeffrey Finn Guy has driven a faultless race ever since he got the lead on that first round of pit stops. As we come through turn 3 for the final time, like you said, we haven't had a repeat winner in the first 5 races of the season. That's about to change as Jeffrey Finn Guy powers down the main straightaway to see the checkered flag, and for the 18th time in his career, Jeffrey Finn Guy is a winner in the Superstar Series.
Fantastic race from Finn Guy all day long. I think the only time he was outside of the top 5 was on that pit cycle. So, great day for his entire team. Dylan Young with a fantastic fourth place finish.
Yeah, what could have been though if that pit stop had gone just a little bit smoother. Ben McDonald rounds out the podium, his first top 10 of the year. Great run for him. And J.D. Martin just held off Julio Cesar in a drag race for 5th place. Had a Kel Tescar Jr. 7th. Vargas, we didn't talk about Christian Vargas today. He finished 8th. Had a Ryan Griffin who keeps his stellar season going in 9th. And Miles Mashburn completes the top 10 ahead of Mark Davey, who faded to 11th at the very end. But despite that being a very good race, all things considered, we do still have a lot of questions regarding the mid portion of this race, the middle stages, because we saw Stephen Gale, who never returned to the racetrack after his issue. We're hearing from Hanford Motorsport it was a fuel system problem on the 52 that put him out of action. And Bobo Jones, we're still going to try and diagnose what happened to him, so we're going to get you a replay of that here now. So this is where Bobo was running, not terrible. He was on pace for a top 25 day, heading down into turn 1 alongside Lane Sanders in their battle. Oh man, you just can't make this stuff up, can you? The engine lets go, and Chase Christ runs into the back of him. That's why Bobo Jones was credited with a accident retirement, but you just can't script it any worse for Jeff Bolton Racing and this 58 team. They have not had a top 30 all season, and stuff like this is the main reason why.
Actually, kind of surprised officials didn't throw the caution there because he wasn't really in a spot where he could easily be pushed behind the wall there, and he was kind of stopped technically on track because half his car was still there. But now, obviously, officials felt his car was out of the way enough to where he could get a quick tow and not affect the rest of the race. So, credit to the officials for being able to make a quick decision there. But yeah, tough break for Bobo Jones and Stephen Gale both for separate incidents.
That's going to tumble Stephen Gale out of the top 30 in owners points as well. So he's going to have to qualify on time for the next race. Obviously, Bobo Jones will be down there with him. You just can't make it up for Bobo Jones. I seriously hope their fortunes turn around next week. And speaking of next week, I'm looking forward to that one as much as I think any race this season, because next week we head to the fastest track in all of the schedule, Talladega Super Speedway, for round number 7 of the season. If you thought these first 6 races were wild, you haven't seen what Talladega can offer. But with that being said, from Jacob Crago and from myself as well, thanks for joining us for 54 laps at Hillside. It was a very, very unique day, to say the least, but it suits Jeffrey Finn Guy just fine. So until we see you from Talladega, so long from Hillside and Hanford. I'm going to get this right one of these days. So long from Hanford. Congrats to Jeffrey Finn Guy. Career win number 18 and a maximum points day that he will carry to the wild card that is Talladega.